But other than that, I'm Kyle, casting director. I just want everyone to go around, say your name, and maybe who you are playing. We can start with Jeff, work our way around. If you know who you're playing in like the first half, before the big scene with all of like the cat ladies and bouncers and bartenders, that's the scene that we're sort of putting off at. If anybody you're playing in that first half, let us know who you're playing. And just for anyone, are we live yet?
Yeah, you'll see it. Yes.
For anyone watching, as well as for everyone here, hi Joe, you're going to be right in between Shane and Nick there. Thank you for joining us. For everyone watching, there's two scenes that are massive in terms of cast. One where pretty much everybody here will be playing a bouncer or a bartender or some other retail worker for like 2 lines, and then there's a scene at the very end where everyone here will be playing another character for 1 or 2 lines. Other than that, overwhelmingly people are reading for 1 or 2 people at the most. So maybe we start at this end and work our way around.
Hi, my name is Jeff Brain, and I'll be playing James.
Bobby, I'll be playing Noah.
Hi, Pete Laughlin, General Ernest.
Hi there, I'm Nathan Dale Short, pronouns are P. May. I'm playing Timothy DeLong and William T. Spears.
Hi, I'm Madison Frecchio. I'll be reading for Evelyn and Operator Elizabeth.
Sorry, I'll be reading for Judge St. Pierre.
Hi, my name is Tiltara Webb. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm reading for Natalie.
Hey, I'm McGuire Price. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm reading from Not the Clock and Consider.
Hi, how are you doing? My name is Levert, and I'll be reading the readers again. I'm Scott, just joined on the bailiff.
My name is Kim Eber. I'm reading for Roberta and Chief Deckers and other local checker. Okay.
I'm Ann Nunez, and I'm reading for Abe Shaw and General Brooke.
I'm Nicholas Brandon Moore. I'm reading for Xavier Lynch, Luke S. Atkins, and Brian Costa.
Joe Gomez, I'll be reading for Hector Grayson and Assistant Clerk.
Shane Richland, I use he, him pronouns. I am reading for Grady Vale.
DC Cathro, and I'm reading Edward.
All right, fantastic. So Kyle I want to thank Kyle first because I think Kyle has been an amazing casting director. I really want to say thank you to Kyle because I didn't pay him and he still did a great job, which is awesome.
What's up?
I will see you at the bar, my good sir. So this is the first thing I've ever written that's feature length. I am unbelievably, I can sit down now. I am unbelievably overexcited with hearing it. I'm glad that it's not a waste of your time. Thus far, no one said, hey Arthur, go back to being a lawyer. This is not it. So before we get started, I know I've talked a lot already, but if there's any questions anyone has about their character, about why their character does whatever they do, that might be helpful to you during the reading, I can go ahead and answer that. And then once we do that, we're going to just shift right into the reading. Okay, all right then. That was easy enough. All right, so let's go ahead and get started.
Joe, need the Wi-Fi?
Hey, I got it.
Sorry.
Right here. Sean, we're reading for Hayden.
Hi guys.
Hello.
While he's getting set, I'll just tell you the inspiration for this story basically comes from Star Wars. It's the very end of Star Wars, Episode 6, when Vader throws the Emperor down the shaft. And throws him down the shaft, they're like, ah! Vader's like, I'm Anakin again. I'm innocent, and then dies. And my always thought was,
Spoilers.
I know, it's been a while. But my thought's always been, what if Vader had lived? Of course, the New Republic is going to want to prosecute this dude because he has went on a murder rampage for a good 20 years of just murdering people, although Tarkin killed more people. But the idea was, he has the best defense. Yes, I killed those younglings in Temple. Yes, I killed your friend. Yes, I killed your mom. But if I didn't kill the Emperor, all of you all would be dead. That wasn't his intent. It wasn't to save the Republic. It was to save his son. But the consequence of that was that he helped out all these other people. And it's like, for as many people as I murdered, I saved so many more people by killing the Emperor. Leave me alone. Leave me on the planet by myself. Now, would they do that? No. But it does ask that question of, if you do the the right thing for the wrong reason, should you get rewarded? And that is the basis of this story. Okay? All right, Chris, you start off first, man. And
So, interior villa, night. It's late in the evening in the well-appointed futuristic office. There are two men talking to each other in hushed tones. General James Bruni Bryant is a white man with a slightly wiry and athletic build in his early to mid-50s. The office has personal items including family photos. James with his husband, and James with his whole family, his husband, and their 3 children.
Where are the papers?
I have them right here.
Timothy DeLonge is an average-built male in his late 20s with a conservative haircut. He takes his shirt out of his pants and pulls out a long envelope in a clear plastic bag.
Here.
James snatches the envelope out of Timothy's hands and starts reading it to himself.
Let's see.
James is reading the document and starts leaning on the wall while reading.
I read it for you. It's all there, everything they promised you.
James gives a suspicious glare to Timothy, but keeps reading. Satisfied with the document, he starts to talk to Timothy in a slightly more respectful tone.
Before I sign, they know what's happening tonight, right?
Yes. Are you ready to do this?
Yeah.
James reaches to the phone on his desk.
Ms. Gillies,
Yes, General.
send in Commander Zajac.
Yes, sir.
James hangs up the phone and goes back to reading the paperwork handed to him by Timothy. Noah Zajac walks in and quietly examines Timothy. Noah carries himself as an older than he is. Noah is quiet, reserved, and fiercely loyal. Noah has an athletic build in his early 30s.
Noah,
Sir?
don't call me that. Not tonight, not now.
James hands Noah the documents Timothy brought him. While Noah reads them, James sits in the office chair behind his desk and smokes a cigarette. Noah and Timothy stands on the other side of the desk.
Is this solid?
Yes.
I wasn't talking to you. Is this solid, sir?
I told you don't call me that tonight, but yes, it is. Or it will be once I sign it.
You lead, I'll follow.
Noah puts the paperwork on the table and awaits James' next action.
Dark deeds.
This is the only way, right?
James looks down at the various reports on the map on his desk.
I don't see how else. Look at this injury report, or this one. How about this salute report, or this one?
James hands Noah the report on his desk. Noah looks over the reports. While Noah does a cursory review, James takes the paperwork that Noah puts on the desk and starts looking for a pen. Timothy offers a pen.
I'll use my own.
After searching his desk, James finds an ornamental pen as he is about to sign Noah's interruption.
Jim, are you sure you want to use that pen?
Timothy looks curiously at the pen.
At this point, would it even matter which pen I use? And this is the last time we'll get to use it.
Are you sure?
James signs the paperwork with the decorative pen.
We'll finish this tonight. How soon till General Andrade gets here?
Once you're finished and send the stand down signal, it will take him 4 hours to fly to the port.
James reaches for the phone again.
Ms. Gillies, can you send for more coffee, please?
Yes. Anything else?
James looked up at Noah.
Those pyramid pastries.
No.
Just the coffee, Ms. Gillies.
Of course.
King is going to be here any minute. Are the men ready?
Yes. Once he gets here, give me the signal and we'll begin.
Is Carter joining you?
Who's Carter?
Carter is...
The door opens and Miss Gilly comes in with a cart containing coffee and sandwiches. Miss Roberta Gillies is an older woman in her late 60s. Miss Roberta Gillies gives off a motherly, grandmotherly vibe, and James is the object of her tutelage.
I know you only asked for coffee, but tonight you need a snack with your cooking up, so I got sandwiches delivered as well.
Thank you, Ms. Gillies. What did I do without you?
Starve.
Miss Gillies looks at Noah and James.
What's happening?
Yes.
Have Edward come here after it's done.
Thank you.
Ms. Gilly leaves.
What were we talking about?
Carter?
Yeah, Carter is one of Noah's...
The phone on James' desk rings.
Yes, Miss Gillies. Okay. Yeah, we do everything the same, no changes. Thank you, Miss Gillies.
James stands up, walks to the front of his desk, and takes a minute to look around his office, focusing on the picture of his whole family on vacation, looking at the map on his desk of the reports, various awards, medals, and the pen he used to sign the paperwork earlier.
Noah, I am...
James stops speaking and takes off his medals and military insignia.
Noah, right now I'm not a general and I can't order you. I'm asking you for your help.
Yes, sir. You're doing the right thing. For our people, for our families, for our country, for our future.
Noah salutes James.
Thank you. Timothy, you will stay here till the phone rings and Miss Gillies tells you to leave. Do not leave here until she tells you. Understood?
Yes. Yes, sir.
James rolls his eyes at Timothy, calling him sir.
Let's go.
James and Noah leaves James' office, and we follow them to Miss Gillies' office, which is outside of James' office. Miss Gillies is positioned at James' guard. When James and Noah walks into Miss Gillies' office, she stands up and kisses both men on the cheek. Miss Gillies' office is clean and neat, missing the personal touches of James' office.
Now you two boys, do what you need to do and come back to me, you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
James kisses Miss Gillies on her cheek.
Let's go.
We stay in Miss Gillies' office and we see Noah and James walk out with James pausing before he crosses the threshold of Miss Gillies' office. Miss Gillies starts pacing in her office after he leaves, and then she sits in her chair, puts her head in her hands. We look out the window of her office and we start to see some sunlight showing the passage of time. The phone of Miss Gillies' desk starts to ring.
Hello?
Miss Gillies, tell Timothy it's time. Also, send for Edward and the kids. I'll be in my office in about 30 minutes. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Thank you.
James hangs up on Miss Gillies. Miss Gillies calls Timothy.
Timothy, the general wants you to know it's time.
Miss Gillies hangs up on Timothy. She is in the middle of calling Edward when Timothy violently opens the door into Miss Gillies' office and races out of her office into the villa.
Edward, it's Roberta.
Interior transport vehicle later that day. The opening credits start playing during the bus ride. Inside a futuristic bus, the bus holds 55 people, not including the driver, but there are 37 people in the vehicle. Inside the bus is James, Edward, and their 3 children, Evelyn, Hayden, and Natalie. Also in the bus is Noah and his operators who helped pull off the coup d'etat. Additionally, Timothy is with Federate.
It's a lot of reading.
Ah, man.
Additionally, Timothy is with Federation General Ernest Andrade and the soldiers assigned to escort both generals to the airport. General Ernest Andrade is in his late 50s and has a strong, muscular build, but his uniform is not so tight as his physicality to be visible while he is sitting.
We'll have to debrief you.
I figured as much.
Look at them. They don't know it, but they're alive because of you.
Ernest points towards the glass of the vehicle. Outside are Tola and Federation soldiers sitting.
What took you so long?
What?
What took you so long? You should have been here hours ago, according to Timothy.
There are things Timothy didn't know. Once the stand-down signal was received, I wasn't just going to fly here. I needed to verify the surrender was real and move our forces to ensure this was a clean handover. If you were in my position, wouldn't you have done the same thing?
James looks away from Ernest and stares out the window. Edward grabs James' hand and grips it tight. Edward is James' husband. They've been married for 20 years, and their nonverbal communication shows they have their own language. Edward's in his late 50s with a burly build. He carries a few extra pounds, but it's very clear he's a strong man with rough hands.
Before we move to Smith House, where will we be staying?
For the next week or so, you'll be on base. Once you and your team are debriefed, you'll move into a hotel and then Smith House.
Why hotel?
Because after the official debrief, there may be questions the FBS or MA may have. The hotel is just a waypoint until every department who has jurisdiction signs off on the release.
I thought that was done.
The preliminary sign-offs have been done. We need to verify everything he has done. It's just bureaucratic paperwork.
The bus stops moving.
Sir, we're here.
Xavier, the driver of the vehicle, gets out of the bus. Xavier is a positive young soldier. He is not fully aware of what just happened.
Thank you.
Jim, you're not a general, not anymore. You're a civilian.
Right.
The door opens to the vehicle and Xavier stands outside of the vehicle looking in. Another soldier walks away from Xavier.
Sir, they are ready for you and the general.
His name is James.
Yes, sir. They are ready for you and James in the blue tent over there.
A soldier walks up to Xavier and whispers in his ear.
Okay. Everyone else can head inside the court. We've already established a processing center. We should have you through in about an hour.
Can I use the bathroom first?
They have facilities inside for you, sir.
Okay, we all have our missions. James with me.
Interior hotel suite, A. We are in a luxurious hotel suite with various rooms off into the main room, which is 3 levels high. James and Edward are in the kitchen. The camera works through the suite to James and Edward, and we can hear loud music and cheering from outside the suite.
How are you?
You know, ready to leave this godforsaken place and start our next phase.
Edward pours coffee for James and gives him a kiss before giving him the coffee.
These people are just the worst. Been in this suite for almost a month. You gave them everything they wanted. The least they could do is let us go. Look at them out there, kissing, celebrating their win. The win you gave them. Where's your parade? Where's...
Stop. You knew what would happen.
Yes, but knowing something and experiencing it are two different things.
Yeah?
James stopped talking to look outside.
Are you hungry? I'm hungry. I'm going to order some food. You want some?
No, but maybe the kids are. Anyone hungry?
This place is too big. They're not going to hear you.
They will if there's food involved.
After waiting for a few seconds, 2 of Edward's and James' children show up. Natalie is the youngest of James and Edward's 3 children. She is a wispy child who likes wearing dresses. If a breeze blows too hard, she would float.
Where's the food?
Where's Hay?
He said he wasn't hungry.
Tell them to come here.
Evelyn leaves and the rest of the family keeps talking. Evelyn is the oldest of Edward and James' children. She is tall and very beautiful, but is genuinely unaware of the fact.
Nat, I'm ordering lunch. What do you want?
Chicken tenders and apple juice?
And carrots.
I don't like carrots.
But you can't just eat chicken tenders. You need a vegetable.
Evelyn and Hayden walk into the kitchen. Hayden is Edward and James' middle child. Hayden is curious and has a unique view of the world. Hayden wants to be an athlete and is learning rugby.
Daddy, please, I don't like carrots.
I know, but you're going to have a balanced meal.
Dad!
You heard your daddy. Carrots.
Ugh, I never get what I want.
Natalie storms out of the kitchen.
Can I have hot wings with blue cheese and some celery?
Want anything to drink?
A Diet Cola.
And hey, what do you want?
Pancakes.
You want pancakes for lunch?
Yes, and bacon. But can the bacon be on some plate?
Sure. You want orange juice?
Yes, please.
Okay, Daddy and I will order this. I'll let you know when the food is here.
Evelyn and Hayden leave and go back to where they were.
I'll call it in. Oh, what did you want?
Grilled chicken Caesar salad, and remind them to bring a peppermill.
James picks up the phone.
Hello, room service, please. Yes, I'm in the Ocean Suite and would like to order some food. Let me know when you're ready. 1 double cheeseburger with extra onions, waffle fries, and sparkling water.
Edward rolls his eyes at the sparkling water because James ordered a double cheeseburger.
1 salad dressing on the side and a peppermill. Large order of buffalo wings with blue cheese and celery sticks and Diet Cola. Large order of chicken tenders. Give me 1 second.
James holds the phone close to his body to mute it.
How many tenders should we get?
6.
James put the phone back to his ear and face.
6 tenders, a small order of carrots, and a carafe of apple juice. Last, an order of pancakes and bacon, extra crispy, and orange juice. Yeah, that would be all. The Ocean Suite. See you in 25 minutes.
Softy.
Huh?
You're a big softy.
What do you mean?
A small order of carrots and a carafe of apple juice. she gets cavities, you'll be the one taking her to the dentist.
James grabs Edward in a romantic embrace.
The world has changed. They are away from home with no friends, stuck in a hotel. So spoiling them a little isn't really all that bad.
And what happens when we leave here and Natalie doesn't want to eat her carrots?
We'll figure that out when we leave here.
James and Edward passionately kiss, but as the kiss gets interesting, James' phone starts ringing.
Ignore it.
You know I can't.
Oh, James let go of Edward and looks at his phone.
Take it.
James answers the call, and the voice on the other end is loud enough to be heard by Edward.
Hello?
Hey James, wonderful day, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. What can I do for you?
I'm on my way over, wanted to make sure you weren't busy.
Nope, I'm always available. Where are you?
The doorbell to the suite rings.
I'm here.
They hang up.
Babe, I have to talk with Ernest. I'll be back.
James quickly kisses Edward and leaves. We cut to the front door inside the suite with James opening the door to Ernest.
General,
James?
come in, please.
Thank you. I've never been here before. How's your family life?
The kids love the room service, and Edward thinks I'm spoiling the kids with it, but no one is complaining about the maid service. Clerks are making this period bearable, but Ed and I want to move to our new home and start building a regular routine. Hopefully you can tell us when that will happen.
Maybe you should have Edward here. I think he should hear this too.
Ed, come in here, babe. What is this about Andrade?
We should wait for Edward.
Edward works into the room and sits down, which causes James and Ernest to sit down as well.
What do you need from me?
I just felt it was better if you two heard this from me directly. You passed your debrief sessions with flying colors. However, your immunity agreement is under some scrutiny.
What do you mean scrutiny? We negotiated in good faith for 5 months through your lackey, Timothy. I have a signed agreement. What more is there to scrutinize? This is already done. What the hell is the problem?
You.
What do you mean him?
It seems no one actually thought he would do what he did. So, promises were made on the belief they would never have to be fulfilled, and now...
And now they get what they want and they want to toss me in the garbage.
Yes.
Well, we won't have it. What does he need to do? Who does he need to talk to?
There's no one in the government that wants this deal. What happens if it gets out? Hell, the lone surviving general from Tolland is in the fanciest suite, in the fanciest hotel, in the capital city. This arrangement is already raising suspicions.
And if we go quietly, what will the Honorable Federation give me?
Nothing.
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 So, let me get this clear. After I do all the dirty work that allows the parade outside downstairs to exist, after we negotiated for 5 months, after I sell out my people, you sons of bitches won't keep your word.
It's above my pay grade. It's been decided. In a week, we'll move you out of here and return you to Tolland.
He's been missing since everything went down. If he shows up without an explanation, without security, without a safe space, what might people do to him?
I know.
And you don't care, do you?
Ernest stands up.
I'm not paid to care. You had to know there was a possibility this would happen. You two should let your children know and start packing. I have to go. I'll let myself out.
Ernest starts walking out, stops, turns around.
You made the right choice. You were losing, but slowly. You did save lives.
Ernest opens up the door to leave, and a busboy with the food arrives. Niall is in his early 20s and is a sincere man. He still has the hopes of a new day in his eyes and walk.
Mr. Bernie Bryant?
No, that's him over there.
Ernest leaves.
That's not a fine spot.
All right, thank you. Mr. Bernie Bryant, I have an order. I have on.
Just leave it.
I have to make sure
I said leave it. If something is wrong, I'll call.
it's hotel
I said go. Are you dumb or deaf?
Huh?
So you can hear me. I said go. Get the hell out. If I need a village idiot, I'll have the concierge send you up. Get the fuck out.
The hotel busboy is not walking fast enough for James, so James literally pushes him out of the suite and slams the door behind him.
Fuck! These people, this fucking country.
Evelyn, Hayden, and Natalie walk in the room.
Is everything okay?
It's okay. Everyone grab your food and take it to your room.
But I want to eat with Dad.
Not today.
Daddy said no, so grab your food and go to your room. Now.
James starts pacing, trying to figure out what to do next while the children grab their food.
Daddy, they forgot the syrup for my pancakes.
Okay, take your food to your room. I'll have them bring it up.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, Daddy. Bye, Daddy, and I'm sorry.
It's okay, I'll let you know when to come out.
Evelyn, Hayden, and Natalie leave with their food.
Maybe we're a bit harsh on Natalie.
Didn't you just say I was too soft on her? And besides, we have a much bigger problem. What are we going to do?
Fight. In this house, it's sweet. You're still general, so tell me what we do.
Court. I have a signed agreement. I'll sue and force them to give me what I'm owed, or I'll air out their dirty laundry.
Sure.
We can't go back home without it, and no one here has any love for us. We need to force these people to pay for what they have received, peace and prosperity. We just need to find an advocate that will take our case.
How are we going to pay for that?
I've been slowly exchanging our money for theirs.
How much have you exchanged?
A little over 3.5 million credits. I need to reach out to Ms. Gillies and see if she can find an Alumet advocates.
How do you feel now?
I feel better, thanks. I'm starving. Let's eat. And don't forget to call for syrup.
James looks over the food cart to see where his double cheeseburger and Diet Coke is. Edward grabs his phone.
What are you doing?
Calling Roberta.
Can't this wait until after I eat?
No. Hey, Roberta, it's Edward. How are you? We're good. They're trying to screw us over. I know, right? Jim and I are going to fight, and we need an advocate. Can you find us a couple of candidates by tomorrow morning? Don't worry about the cost. We need the best. Thank you. Yeah, talk later. Bye.
Edward ends the call and starts another one.
Who are you calling now?
Room service.
Oh, yeah, syrup.
Interior hotel suite the next day. We are in James's office in the hotel suite. Unlike his office in Tallinn, this office has a slightly lived-in feeling. It lacks all of the small touches that we're in Tallinn. It only has family pictures on the table. Grady, James, and Edwards are in James's office. Grady, Vale, is in a tall, dark-skinned man with a svelte, strong-built gained from working in the military.
The role of an advocate is to argue on behalf of his client. Once an advocate and their client signs paperwork, the advocate's goals are the goals of the client. We put aside our own beliefs and serve the client.
How much did Roberta tell you about me? About my men, why I need you?
She said that you needed an advocate and a firm that has constitutional, federal, and military experience. And I know who you are. And I know you, or rather I know who you are.
Who am I?
When I was in the military, you were the Ace of Hearts.
Grady pulls out a slightly worn Ace of Hearts playing card with a picture of James on it with a printed hole where his heart should be and a bloody drip from his hand.
You're the Butcher of Imbosh. And I knew who you were before I walked in. I still have friends in the MIS.
My being here or not being here is top secret.
It is, to the general public. But you are the worst kept secret inside the military. Everyone knows you're here. You were shipped here from Tallinn, lived on a military base, don't talk to anyone, and have an escort whenever you go. Did you really think people wouldn't gossip about you?
Fair enough. Then tell me what I need.
You need my country to keep its promises to you. What exactly did they promise you, and what were you supposed to do?
If I were able to sever command control at the senior level and get the Royal Army to surrender to Alumet forces, I was promised pardons for me and anyone who helped me. Also a retirement package to live off of, personal security, and Smith House on the eastern coast.
Do you have the agreement?
Yeah.
James grabs a secure briefcase, places it in his hand on top of the briefcase, scans his hand. Next to his hand scanner is a small square with a light. James leans over, opens his eyes wide. The small square turns blue and the suitcase beeps. James opens it and takes his agreement out. James hands it over to Grady.
Thank you.
Grady starts quickly reviewing the multi-page document.
Why are you helping me?
What?
Why are you helping me?
I told you. Advocates advocate.
Yes, that is what they do, but there is no law forcing you to represent me, so why are you doing this?
Grady puts the agreement down and breathes deeply.
The war is over. We need to start building a new future. I'm tired of fighting. You know what I mean? And you're a living wound. We can't move forward until we deal with you. If you go away quietly, everyone will start to heal, but if you are out there causing a problem, talking about this and your dark deeds, this peace will die, and so will many. I love this country more than I despise you, and for the first time in a long time, there are no updates on the war. I want to enjoy this. Good enough for you?
Yes. What are our next steps?
We will file an emergency petition directly to the Supreme Court. Since both the government and, by extension, the military, it is a party, they'll take it. Have Roberta send me a list of witnesses that you think will be good for you. What questions do you have?
Why civilian court?
You don't qualify for military court, which is good for you.
Why?
Because you never served in the Federation military. And it's good because they don't even have to appear to be given a fair shot.
What happens between then and now? Can we stay here?
Right now, we're asking that until this is finished, James keeps his security and this suite.
Just for him?
Yes, but he's the only one people would want to hurt. And since we are scaling back on the security costs, we think the court is more likely to grant it. Anything else?
Will it be broadcast?
No. They don't want anyone knowing about this. There will be a sketch artist.
What kind of trial will this be?
This is not a trial per se. This is a hearing with evidence and a testimony. Think of it as a diet trial.
So what will the format be?
It will be a 5-judge panel. We can't appeal them.
Grady stands up, collects his things, and the agreement, Grady, James, and Edwards walk towards the front door.
I need to add a copy of the agreement to the petition, but they're not disagreeing about if it exists, rather if they should follow it. Once I submit the petition, I'll return this. After that, there will be a few preliminary hearings, but the actual trial will happen in 4 to 6 months from now, and usually a decision 3 to 6 months afterwards. Get comfortable. You're going to be here for a while.
Thank you.
There's my card and details.
Grady walks out, and James closes the door when we hear the voice of Hayden.
Daddy, what's going on?
Oh, what makes you think something's up?
I see you and Dad going back and forth, and I hear y'all arguing.
Edward and James have an eye conversation.
What's going on?
Go get your siblings. Family meeting.
Evelyn!
Go and get your sisters. Don't just shout.
Yeah?
Go ahead.
Family meeting! Natalie! Family meeting!
Evelyn and Natalie walk in. Evelyn crashes into the seat, and everyone hits with Aiden laying his head in Edward's lap.
What's up?
So when we first left home, we told you it was not for a long time, and it was for good reasons. And things have changed. So when we...
There is a harsh double knock at the door.
Who the hell is it?
Room service.
We didn't order room service.
I did.
Evelyn stands up and answers the door.
Hi. Hello.
Hi. Hello. Sorry, my bad. They both stare, sheepishly look at each other.
Thank you.
Of course, Evelyn. Here for you.
I'm hungry. Why didn't you order me anything?
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can come back. I want a cheeseburger and waffle fries.
I'll see you around.
You too, bye.
Niall takes the cart. Niall takes the cart out. Evelyn stands back up. Sits back down.
Don't say anything. We never go outside, and he's interested.
James waves it off and gives the nod to Edward.
Okay,
Things have changed.
yes, things have changed. Dad ended the war and had to do some things no one knows. And they were supposed to...
Make sure that we stayed a family. And now they're making us fight. So we are going to be here for a while.
How long?
Probably a year.
I am so sorry.
How
Questions?
How did you do it?
I clean house. I tried to explain what we should do next, and they disagreed.
But what you need to know is that no one may say it, but Dad is a hero. There are people alive because of him, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. Nothing.
Did you kill the king?
Evelyn, that is not what this is about.
Why not? Dad cleaned house. What does that mean? Either he did or he didn't. That is a simple question, and you don't lie during a family meeting, right? So did you kill the king?
Natalie, do you have any questions?
Aiden and Natalie shake their heads.
Okay, you two are excused.
Love you, Dad.
I love you too, Hank, and I love you, Natalie.
I love you too, Dad.
James hugs his children, and Edward walks the children out. Once they leave, James, a kind face dissolves, and more hardened face appears.
Why do you want to know if I killed the king?
Because those two may not get it, but I do. We didn't just leave, we fled. I see reports on the Depper.
I am not going to explain myself to you. What you need to know is that you are safe and alive, and I will make sure that you remain safe and alive. Everything that I do is in service of making sure this family, our family, my family, stays safe and alive.
Then what was even the point of asking if I had questions?
Evelyn storms off, and Edward walks in.
So,
Beat.
Yeah,
she's angry.
I know. I am too. Are you ready?
Always.
Edward sits next to James. James puts his head into Edward's lap. Interior courtroom day. We see a courtroom with a cherry red wall and a 5-judge. The judges are wearing ivory. What's called white. What is that? Sherwani. Yeah. 4 judges wear red sashes, while the center judge has a red sash with a gold trim. The courtroom is surprisingly empty. James and his advocate, Hector Grayson, are sitting on the left side of the court, while the government's advocates are sitting on the right side. Behind James in the audience section is Edward and their children. Behind James' family is Noah and Miss Gillies. Behind the government advocates are yet unknown military men in dress clothes are various men in suits, but the bulk of the audience section is empty. Chief Judge Decker is an older, tall, lightly tanned woman who exudes authority and due deference.
Advocates, I speak on behalf of my fellow judges. We've read your briefs, and one is, you have a beef with us, we've got one with you. We've read your briefs and want this trial to be as quick as possible. Do my fellow judges have anything to add?
The other judges stay silent.
Advocate Valley, your first witness.
Grady stands up from his desk and approaches the podium. Grady is dressed formally and wearing an advocate sash, which is a vivid royal blue.
Thank you. We call Commander Noah Zajic.
Noah walks up to the stand and is sworn in by the bailiff. Bailiff is a tall man with a small pooch out who looks unhappy. Not that he is unhappy to be at work. Rather, he is just an unhappy man.
Do you, without reservation, promise to tell the truth and understand that if your answers are less than truthful, you can and will be punished for perjury and giving false testimony?
Yes.
For the record, your last job.
My full name is Noah Artemis Zajic. My last job was Royal Commander attached to General Bruni Bryant in the Royal Army of the Kingdoms of Tonga.
And how long did you serve in the Royal Army?
14 years.
You seem very young for a commander. How are you a commander at your age?
Grady leaves the podium to really engage with Noah.
I happened to meet at the time Colonel Bruni Bryant, and he took a shine to me. And throughout my career, he's looked out for me and helped open doors. I owe my position to him.
When did you actually start working with him?
A little under 5 years ago.
Who's Judge St. Pierre?
Oh, sorry. Sean, you okay with that, or do you want me to read it?
I'm okay with it. You read it real quick.
Page 32. Okay, yeah. Advocate, we are not here to learn about the CV. Let's keep this moving.
Yes, Your Honor. Were you privy to the movements of your troops during the war?
Yes and no.
What do you mean?
My rank didn't entitle me to see everything, but General Bruni Bryant started to share that information with me.
And what, if anything, did you start to notice?
I started to see that although we were winning occasional battles, we made very little progress, and overall we were losing ground.
How did this information make you feel?
Mr. Zajic, when you say you were not entitled to see this information, what do you mean?
I didn't have clearance.
Thank you.
Noah, how did the information about troop movements make you feel?
That we were dying slowly and needlessly, and that made me angry.
What did you want to do?
Advocate, we are here about the general, not the commander.
Yes, Your Honor, I am almost there.
Chief Judge Deckard leaned over and whispered to Associate Justice St. Pierre. They whispered for 10 seconds inaudibly.
You can't continue.
Looking towards the Chief Justice, Advocate Vale speaks.
Thank you. Commander's agent, please answer.
I wanted to end it. I didn't see the point of fighting a war we couldn't win.
What did you do next?
I talked with the general about how this needs to end.
And?
He agreed, and he said no one could or would tell the king the truth.
Did you believe him?
Yes.
Why?
Because every night when I went home, I saw adverts telling people to donate towards the war, join the war, and pray for the war. Only the general, the king, and the other council members knew the truth.
When did you decide to actually do something?
7 months before the war ended.
What happened?
The general told me a spy was in his office, and if it could be arranged, we could end the war.
How did you feel?
Sick.
Sick?
Yes, because I knew what it would take to bring peace.
What would it take?
I knew I would have to betray the oath I've taken. I knew I would have to commit regicide, but I knew it was the right thing to do.
If you never learned about the spy and were not able to make a deal, would you have done what you did?
No.
Why?
Because even though I was saving my fellow citizens, if they knew what I did, they would call me Kingslayer or even a Quisling.
A Quisling?
Yes.
What is a Quisling?
A Quisling is a traitor who collaborates with an enemy force occupying their country.
Did you ever talk to investigator Timothy DeLong?
Yes.
About ending the war?
Yes.
What, if anything, do you remember about your conversations with him about ending the war?
I asked him if this was real.
What do you mean real?
Was he or whoever was controlling him trying to hurt us?
What did he say?
No. No, he said that his people wanted to end the war as well.
Did you talk about anything else?
Yeah, about 2 months before it happened, Timothy demanded to be part of it.
Why does this stick out in your mind?
Because he didn't appropriate what we were going to have to do, and he didn't understand we were not going to have a foreigner involved in our business.
Did Timothy work with you on that night?
No, he did not.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honors.
Grady sits down. Noah straightens himself while Advocate Sean stands up and walks to the witness stand, passing in the front of the podium. Advocate Shaw is wearing a traditional Chinese shinigazon, dressed like battle armor.
You're a former commander, aren't you, Mr. Zajic?
Yes.
After your government surrendered, did the people in charge thank you?
No.
Did they get you a cake?
No.
As far as you know, did they even ask for you back?
No.
Did you tell anyone about your heroic deeds?
No.
Why? You saved so many people.
The people wouldn't understand.
Advocate Shaw, let's keep this moving. I'm sorry, Your Honor. When you negotiated this deal, you said you had already wanted to end this war. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
But, like so many patriots, you wanted to be paid. Isn't that right? Isn't
No.
that correct?
No, I don't care about their money. I cared about saving lives.
Including your own?
No. I cared about stopping a war we weren't winning.
So you didn't care about yourself. You just cared about other people. Then why did you wait? You don't have to answer. I only have a few questions. Did you directly sign the paperwork between our government and Mr. Bryan?
No, I did not sign the paperwork, but I knew the general's deal included me.
Interesting. Last question. If the deal had fallen through, would you have still been a part of the coup d'etat?
No.
So your patriotism only happens when you are either getting paid or someone is providing you cover.
Grady pushes his chair back to stand and object.
Withdrawn. Advocate Bailey, rebuttal.
Thank you, Your Honor. One question. How many people do you think you saved because of the actions you took that night?
Millions.
And were all the lives you saved that night, were they only Tolland lives?
No.
What other lives did you save that night?
I saved both Tolland and Alumet lives.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
Interior courtroom evening. Inside the courtroom after lunch, the attendees from the morning are still present. Noah is back in the audience section. Advocate Vale is questioning General Ernest Andrade. We pick up after General Andrade has been sworn in. General Andrade is wearing his dress military uniform.
How long before you were brought in on Operation Cinder do you think the war was going to last?
I don't know.
So, as a general, you don't make plans?
I do.
Then, General, before you had knowledge of Operation Cinder, how far in advance did you plan to continue to fight the war?
Months.
How many months, General?
Between 6 and 12.
General, do you know what this is?
Grady walks to his desk, grabs a paper, and walks it over to General Andrade and hands it to the general.
Yes.
Please read it out loud. The title that is highlighted in neon yellow for the justices.
An analysis of the multi-year strategic and logistic considerations for ongoing military operations in Tolland.
Have you read this document before?
Yes.
So let me ask you again, General. Before you knew of Operation Cinder, how far in the future did you plan for the war?
The general is frustrated and talks to the judge.
Do I have to answer this?
Yes.
4 to 7 years.
Thank you, General.
The federal advocate leans over and whispers in the ear of her first assistant, Luke S. Atkins, stands up. Luke is a pale, portly man whose wide smile belies his killer instincts.
Good afternoon, General.
Afternoon.
Do you remember the report whose title you just read?
Yes.
Did you write it?
No.
General, do you remember approximately when you read this report?
Yes.
When was that, General?
About 2 years ago.
General, in the 2 years since it was written, have you seen or participated in the writing or updating of this document or a document that covers a similar topic?
No.
Thank you, General.
Interior courtroom, day. This is a new day and Grady is sitting next to James and his associate advocate Hector Grayson. The same people in the gallery from the first day are present.
Advocate Valley, are you ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Call your next witness.
Yes. We call to the stand Timothy DeLong.
Timothy is wearing a green harsh with a gold trim. Timothy walks up and sits in the witness chair. The bailiff walks over to administer the oath.
Do you, without reservation, promise to tell the truth and understand that if your answers are less than truthful, you will be punished for perjury and giving false testimony?
Yes, I do.
The bailiff walks away and Grady walks up.
Mr. DeLong, would you please state your name and current job title?
My name is Timothy DeLong, and I am a senior investigator with Federation External Security.
Before you met General Bruni Bryant, what was your title inside the FBS?
I was a junior investigator.
What did you do as a junior investigator?
I was assigned to infiltrate Tolland and report back about internal communications.
When you were assigned to Tolland, what were the expectations as you believed them to be?
It was to climb the ranks as high as possible and report information I felt actionable to the FES.
What was the highest position you achieved while working in Tolland?
I was the executive assistant to General James Bruni Bryant.
What were your impressions about the general?
He was, and is, fiercely loyal to his country. He is a great mentor and teacher. His understanding of troop movements and counter movements is fascinating, but his strongest ability is logistics.
How so?
I saw him find ways to move resources to various locations quicker than other generals.
How did you meet General Bruni Bryant?
I met him when I was promoted to his office.
And what were your job responsibilities?
I was his assistant. I went and helped him wherever he went.
How is that different than a secretary?
Advocate Val, we know what an assistant is.
Yes, Your Honor, but this foundation is essential for later questions.
Judge Weaver leans and talks to the Chief Justice Decker.
You can continue, Advocate.
Please answer the question.
Secretaries schedule appointments or take instruction, whereas assistants help organize and execute the plan.
So it's safe to say that while in Tolland, working for the general, you got to know him as a general and as a person.
Yes, sir.
Timothy, when the general confronted you about being a spy, why did you agree to be the go-between for the Federation in Tolland?
Because when he said he was interested in working with us, I knew it would not be a waste of our time.
And how long were you the go-between?
5 months.
During that time, did you represent yourself as a valid negotiating partner?
Yes.
What?
Because I was told by my superior I could.
And who was your superior?
Deputy Director of Federation External Security, William T. Spears.
At any point during these negotiations, were you told by Deputy Director Spears that General Bruni Bryant's deal would not be honored?
No.
When you got the paperwork, just to be clear, you were told then that his deal would be honored.
Yes.
Did you have any reason to believe Deputy Director William T. Spears was lying?
No.
What?
We needed him.
What do you mean by we needed him?
I wasn't the only investigator, but I was the highest ranked one. Based on my intel and what the other investigators collected, it was clear that we, the Federation, were going to win, but it would take years for us to secure the win, which meant time, money, and lives. General Bruni Bryant was a fast pass to an outcome everyone knew.
In your opinion, if the agreement had never existed, would General Bruni Bryant have ever taken down Tolland's leadership?
No.
And was that something you discussed with the Deputy Director Spears?
Yes.
So Deputy Director Spears knew lying to the general would risk Operation Cinder?
Yes.
Brady walks back to the table to check his notes to make sure he asked every question. Next, Brady asks General James if he wants to ask anything.
Mr. DeLong, Timothy, when the general reached out to you, why did you report this to your superiors?
Because that was my mission.
Knowing what you know now, would you still be the go-between?
Yes.
Why?
Because I wanted to end the war, and he wanted to end the war.
Last question. Would you have done anything differently?
No. What is happening to the general is wrong, but anything that stops the slaughter of my people is acceptable. I think we should honor our word.
Grady sits down. Ava Shaw stands up and is on the prowl. She sees Timothy as easy prey and treats him as such.
Mr. DeLonge, you are an inspector.
Yes.
The crux of your job is to infiltrate foreign countries, collect information valuable to the Federation, and, if possible, find human and non-human assets that help the Federation.
Yes.
And when you do your job, do you lie about who you are?
Not everything.
Not everything? So you tell the truth about why you were there, your family history, your job here in the Federation, and your name?
No. No, I don't.
So, is it fair to say then that when you do your job, you lie?
Yes.
And if you are a really good liar, would you be even better at your job?
Depends.
I'll take that as a yes. And based on your testimony, you admired Mr. Bruni Bryant.
Yes, I did and do.
And did your superiors know this?
Yes, they did.
And you sit here surprised that Director Spears didn't tell you the truth. And Mr. DeLonge, who is lying to whom?
Ava sits down, satisfied. Interior hotel suite, evening. We see a family eating dinner and catching up. Around the table, we see James, Edward, Evelyn, Hayden, and Natalie.
Well, we have a nice view.
I don't like it. I like looking down on people. I just wish I had a magnifying glass.
And that's why girls don't talk to you.
No. And how was the busboy?
Don't worry about him.
Hey, leave your sister alone. Evie, have you been seeing the busboy?
We really need to have this conversation.
Well, it is family dinner.
Yeah, Evie. It is family dinner.
Hey.
James gives Hayden a look which shuts up Hayden.
Well, you want to know more about what you've been doing apart from class?
I'm bored. I was just a distraction.
Class, is that boring?
And be careful about playing with people's hearts. I don't like it.
Who? But seriously, when are we leaving this place? Yeah, I want to go to Lollyland.
Well, we can talk about that next year. Plus, you always want to go there, and you never ride the roller coaster.
They're scary.
That's the point, you big baby.
I don't see you on them.
I'm not dumb to ask to go to a place full of things I don't like.
Daddy.
Hayden, be nice. But he has a point. Nat, you always beg to go there, but then you never want to go on any of the roller coasters.
I remember the first time she tried to ride a roller coaster.
The family starts laughing. Natalie is getting angry.
Matt threw a fit and Dad put her in the seat, and as soon as the arm came down, she just started throwing up.
Evelyn mimes throwing up.
I haven't done that in a long time.
Because now you won't even get mine.
Natalie gets so angry, she gets up and walks away.
Nat, come back.
Nat!
I'll go talk to her.
James gets up to go talk to Nat.
Okay, y'all know she's sensitive.
Yeah, when we talk about her, she shouldn't always get a pass when she annoys us. Which she does.
She's your younger sister. Be a big brother to her.
Hard cut to James and Natalie talking in Natalie's room. Natalie is crying crocodile tears.
Hey, Nat. What's wrong?
I'm older and I can ride a roller coaster. I'll show them.
I know you can.
Dad, I can. I really can. When we go home and go to Lollyland, I'll ride everything.
Nat, you don't have to get on if you don't want to, and don't let Evie and Hay get to you.
I don't like it.
I know. When I was your age, I had an older sister who never let me forget that I peed my bed. She told everyone and it made me mad.
Where is she?
She died.
I'm sorry, Dad.
It's okay. You know what her name was? You know what her name is?
No.
James points lovingly at Natalie.
Natalie.
Yeah. She died a few years before you were born in the war.
I'm sorry, Dad.
It's okay.
Natalie hugs her dad and wipes away tears.
What did you do?
You promised not to tell?
Yeah.
Well, she was getting ready to go to prom. I put itching powder on her dress.
Did it work?
Yeah. But it made her cry, and I was happy at first, but as she kept crying, I started to feel bad.
Why? She told everyone about you peeing.
That's right, but I didn't want her to cry, and it didn't make me feel good. And I ruined her big nights. If Daddy and I aren't around, who do you think will be there for you to take care of you? Evie and Hay. They're teasing you, and you do tease them too. Is it right you get to make jokes about them, but they can't make jokes about you?
I don't like it.
Okay. I'll make them stop, but that means you have to stop too. How about this? I'll tell them to go a little easier on you, but that means you have to go easy on them too.
James hugs Natalie.
Let's go back to dinner.
Hard cut back to the dinner before James and Natalie come back.
Daddy, we've been talking and we want to know, will we go home?
You know Dad is in trouble.
James and Natalie walk back in.
What did we miss?
Nothing, just a few questions.
What questions?
When are we going home? We've been here for months.
James and Edward have an eye conversation.
I don't know. I am fighting so we can go home, but until then we should try and make this home.
How are we going to go to Lollyland from here?
Dad and I aren't sure if we'll go back.
Fuck.
Young lady!
What? Fuck.
Language.
What? We are living in a strange country, living in this fucking hotel.
I get you're mad, but language, young lady.
Fine. What did you do? You talk around it and about it, but not what you did. What did you do?
It's better if you don't know.
See? This is what I'm talking about. What did you do?
Dad,
Knocking at the door.
That's Grady. After we finish this whole thing, Daddy and I will talk, and if you feel you're ready, we'll tell you more. Right now, I need you three to go to your rooms. If you want dessert, order it from room service. Ed, can you let him in, please?
Sir, yes, sir.
The children start to walk away and Edward opens the door. He is surprised to see Niall.
Niall, the busboy.
Yes, is Evelyn here? We have a date.
Yes, but she's
She's available.
Edward walks over to James and they whisper to each other.
She crossed her line and she needs to be punished.
I agree, but is keeping her here the way? If she's gone the other two will just stay quiet for the night.
Yeah, but still.
Do you want peace or to be right?
Fine, fine.
Evie? What's your name again?
No.
Oh, Niall is here.
Evelyn comes, stomping in.
Okay. I'm leaving.
Be safe.
Yeah. Let's go.
Grady and his second chair, Hector, arrives at the front door.
Excuse me.
Evelyn grabs Niles' hand and pulls him as she leaves.
Is everything okay?
Evelyn rushed past Grady and Hector.
Yeah, family stuff.
Edward closed the door behind Hector.
Hector.
Well, the rest of the trial is going to be rough. We received the government's witness list, and they're recalling General Andrada and calling Deputy Director William T. Spears and a Hannah Abiodun.
That's it?
So far, yeah, they have the option of 4 witnesses, but the first 2 will paint a bad picture, and I don't know who this Miss Abiodun is. Do you?
No, I've never heard of or met her.
Okay, we'll continue to search to figure out who she is and why she was called. While we do this, we need you to search your files, see if there's anything you may know about this Abiodun. We need to learn about her.
While that's happening, I'll be honest. Things are not looking good. Have you thought about what you'll do if you lose?
No, that is not something I can do. I need to focus on this.
But it is always important.
Not today.
Okay?
Seeing that his client is not ready to talk about a negative future, Grady stands up.
Enjoy the weekend. We'll do some research and we will see you on Monday.
Where else would we be?
That reminds me, until closing arguments, you shouldn't bring the children, and maybe you might not want to attend that.
Why? I know everything you did. I stand by my man. I'll be there. But the children will stay here with their tutor.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Grady and Hector leave. Interior courtroom day. We are back in the courtroom with General Andrade back on the stand. Everyone who has been in the courtroom is present again, except Edward, who didn't bring the children to court this time. General Andrade is speaking to the bailiff.
I remember my promise.
The bailiff walks back to his spot in the courtroom.
General, how long have you been a military man?
My entire professional career,
And how long is that, General?
33 years.
And during your 33 years, can you recall the horror and desolation of war?
Yes.
Can you tell this boy an example?
Advocate Shaw, will this lead to Mr. Bruni Bryant?
Yes or no?
Continue.
General?
Yes. In the 4th year of this war, we were able to liberate the city of Bosch. What I saw there changed my mind about war and how important it is to stop war from ever happening again.
General, what was so devastating about Bosch?
Before the war, Bosch had a population of 3.5 million men, women, and children.
And after?
500,000.
General, did you investigate what happened to the population of Bosch?
Yes.
What happened, General?
During Toland's initial phase of their invasion, Bosch was captured and put under the control of Brigadier General James Early Bryant. And Brigadier General Bruno Bryant engineered a system to drain every resource from Bosch, including simple things like water and dirt.
General, I understand water is important, but there is no way Toland taking away resources, even water and dirt, shocked you?
I was shocked because Bosch had a vast, naturally occurring fresh water system. He had water trucks 24/7 shipping water to Toland's interior. He was stripping valuable, nutrient-rich volcanic soil, and what he couldn't take, he salted.
What do you mean, he salted?
In the last 2 months of his occupation, he watered the soil with heavily salted water, making growing crops in Bosch difficult.
What else did you learn in Bosch?
After we recaptured Bosch, reports of what the general did came in. He authorized mass sterilization of both men and women. Any woman who had her period but had not started menopause was forced to get a hysterectomy. As best as we could tell, over 900,000 women received involuntary hysterectomies, and those were the luckier women.
What do you mean?
Women who were considered desirable were taken in as comfort women. They were trafficked among Toland military service members. Some women were shipped back to Toland proper. It was not till after the surrender we learned what happened to these ghost women.
Why did you not learn what happened to these ghost women after you took Bosch?
Because General Bruni Bryant, he planned for our arrival and either burned buildings or mined them, making data collection very difficult. It wasn't until the surrender we had access to Toland's secrets that we learned that those women were used in scientific experimentation.
What happened to the men?
The men suffered a similar fate. Over 1 million men were castrated. Desirable men, like the women, were saved from castration and were used as sex workers by soldiers of Toland. Apart from castration, men were shipped to work camps in and around Bosch. One of the things Toland likes are gladiatorial fights, and strong men were brought to various arenas in Bosch to fight each other. The fights were simulcast across Toland, and the people of Toland bet on the winner, and the general received a cut of the bets.
So, are you saying the general profited off of this death?
Yes. Not only did he profit from them, I had reports past my desk that showed he even fixed certain fights.
What happened to the children?
General Andrade eyes gets wet and clears his throat.
Can my report about children be read into the record?
No, I'm sorry, you must answer the question.
If the child was under the age of 13 months age, they were shipped to Toland.
What do you mean, General?
What I said. There are tens of thousands of children who were born in Bosch to parents who are alimentees who now live in Toland and are being raised by Toland parents unaware they're captives. Women who were pregnant were allowed to keep their child to term, but after giving birth, their babies were taken, and the mothers never got to see their child again. Depending on the age of the older children, they were either used as servants or as work hostages.
What do you mean, work hostages?
Toland has a large army, but not large enough to tame cities with populations of 3, 5, 9, and 18 million people. So to ensure obedience, children of various families, important and common, are kept to ensure compliance. They would let parents visit their child once every month or so. The parents who were not compliant and had multiple children had to watch as one child was tricked into killing the other one to ensure that parents would become compliant.
General Andrade, these are some serious accusations you're making. Do you have any proof? This is a court effort.
Yes.
Ava uses a projector and puts a document on it.
Okay, what is this?
This is Ernestine Tall. This is her report of what happened to her 2 sons and her husband. Her youngest son was taken to Toland, and her oldest son and husband died during the occupation. Her oldest son, Des, was blindfolded and told if he didn't shot, he would die. Afterwards, they put his father in front of him with a gag and made Des shoot his father. After Des shot his father, Pisces, the blindfold was removed so Des could see he had killed his father. Soon after Des killed himself.
Ava uses the projector again.
And this?
Jordan Jamestown. He was a civil advocate and also a bodybuilder. He was forced to fight in the arena. He fought over 125 fights. These images show the scars all over his body in the fights. He was told to lose a few fights, and if he complied, his family would have bigger food rations, but doing so would have meant his death or extreme injuries that would have led to his death.
But other than that, I'm Kyle, casting director. I just want everyone to go around, say your name, and maybe who you are playing. We can start with Jeff, work our way around. If you know who you're playing in like the first half, before the big scene with all of like the cat ladies and bouncers and bartenders, that's the scene that we're sort of putting off at. If anybody you're playing in that first half, let us know who you're playing. And just for anyone, are we live yet?
That's fine. Yeah, you'll see it. Yes.
For anyone watching, as well as for everyone here, hi Joe, you're going to be right in between Shane and Nick there. Thank you for joining us. For everyone watching, there's 2 scenes that are massive in terms of cast. One where pretty much everybody here will be playing a bouncer or a bartender or some other retail worker for like 2 lines. And then there's a scene at the very end where everyone here will be playing another character for 1 or 2 lines. Other than that, overwhelmingly people are reading for 1 or 2 people at the most. So maybe we start at this end and work our way around.
Hi, my name is Jeff Brain, and I'll be playing James.
Bobby, I'll be playing Noah.
Hi, Pete Laughlin and General Ernest.
Hi there, I'm Nathan Dale Short, pronouns are he, they. I'm playing Timothy DeLong and William T. Spears.
Hi, I'm Madison Crecchio. I'll be reading for Evelyn and Operator Elizabeth.
Sorry, I'll be reading for Judge St. Pierre. Just people know.
Hi, my name is Totara Webb. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm reading for Natalie.
Hey, I'm McGuire Price. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm reading from Mount Talking Center.
Hi, how are you doing? My name is Levert, and I'll be reading the readers, I guess.
I'm Scott, just joined on the bailiff.
My name is Kim Eber. I'm reading for Roberta and Chief Deckers and other little culture. Look. I'm Ann Nunez, and I'm reading for Abe Shaw and General Brooke.
I'm Nicholas Brandon Warren. I'm reading for Xavier Lynch, Luke S. Atkins, and Brian Costa.
Joe Gomez, I'll be reading for Hector Grayson and Assistant Clerk.
I'm Shane Richland. I use he, him pronouns. I am reading for Grady Vale.
DC Cathro, and I'm reading Edward.
All right, fantastic. So Kyle I want to thank Kyle first because I think Kyle has been an amazing casting director. I really want to say thank you to Kyle because I didn't pay him and he still did a great job, which is awesome.
What's up?
I will see you at the bar, my good sir. So this is the first thing I've ever written that's feature length. I am unbelievably, I can sit down now. I am unbelievably overexcited with hearing it. I'm glad that it's not a waste of your time, because thus far no one said, hey Arthur, go back to being a lawyer. This is not it. So before we get started, I know I've talked a lot already, but if there's any questions anyone has about their character, about why their character does whatever they do, that might be helpful to you during the reading, I can go ahead and answer that. And then once we do that, we're going to just shift right into the reading. Okay, all right then. That was easy enough. All right, so let's go ahead and get started.
Joe, you need the Wi-Fi?
Hey,
I got it.
sorry.
Right here. Sean will be reading for Hayden.
Hi guys.
Hello.
While he's getting set, I'll just tell you the inspiration for this story basically comes from Star Wars. It's the very end of Star Wars, Episode 6, when Vader throws the Emperor down the shaft, and throws him down the shaft, being like, ah! Vader's like, I'm Anakin again. I'm innocent, and then dies. And my always thought was,
Spoilers.
I know, it's been a while. But my thought's always been, what if Vader had lived? Of course, the New Republic is going to want to prosecute this dude because he has went on a murder rampage for a good 20 years of just murdering people, although Tarkin killed more people. But the idea was, he has the best defense. Yes, I killed those younglings in Temple. Yes, I killed your friend. Yes, I killed your mom. But if I didn't kill the Emperor, all of you all would be dead. That wasn't his intent, wasn't to save the Republic, it was to save his son. But the consequence of that was that he helped out all these other people. And it's like, for as many people as I murdered, I saved so many more people by killing the Emperor. Leave me alone, leave me on the planet by myself. Now, would they do that? No, but it does ask that question of, if you do the right thing for the wrong reasons, should you get rewarded? And that is the basis of this story. Okay? All right, Chris, you start off first, man. And
So, interior villa, night. It's late in the evening in the well-appointed futuristic office. There are two men talking to each other in hushed tones. General James Bruni Bryant is a white man with a slightly wiry and athletic build in his early to mid-50s. The office has personal items including family photos. James with his husband, and James with his whole family, his husband, and their 3 children.
Where are the papers?
I have them right here.
Timothy DeLonge is an average-built male in his late 20s with a conservative haircut. He takes his shirt out of his pants and pulls out a long envelope in a clear plastic bag.
Here.
James snatches the envelope out of Timothy's hands and starts reading it to himself.
Let's see.
James is reading the document and starts leaning on the wall while reading.
I read it for you. It's all there, everything they promised you.
James gives a suspicious glare to Timothy, but keeps reading. Satisfied with the document, he starts to talk to Timothy in a slightly more respectful tone.
Before I sign, they know what's happening tonight, right?
Yes. Are you ready to do this?
Yeah.
James reaches to the phone on his desk.
Miss Gillies,
Yes, General.
send in Commander Zajac.
Yes, sir.
James hangs up the phone and goes back to reading the paperwork handed to him by Timothy. Noah Zajac walks in and quietly examines Timothy. Noah carries himself as an older than he is. Noah is quiet, reserved, and fiercely loyal. Noah has an athletic build in his early 30s.
Noah,
Sir?
don't call me that. Not tonight, not now.
James hands Noah the documents Timothy brought him. While Noah reads them, James sits in the office chair behind his desk and smokes a cigarette. Noah and Timothy stands on the other side of the desk.
Is this solid?
Yes.
I wasn't talking to you. Is this solid, sir?
I told you don't call me that tonight, but yes, it is. Or it will be once I sign it.
You lead, I'll follow.
Noah puts the paperwork on the table and awaits James' next action.
Dark deeds.
This is the only way, right?
James looks down at the various reports on the map on his desk.
I don't see how else. Look at this injury report, or this one. How about this salute report, or this one?
James hands Noah the report on his desk. Noah looks over the reports. While Noah does a cursory review, James takes the paperwork that Noah puts on the desk and starts looking for a pen. Timothy offers a pen.
I'll use my own.
After searching his desk, James finds an ornamental pen as he is about to sign Noah's interruption.
Jim, are you sure you want to use that pen?
Timothy looks curiously at the pen.
At this point, would it even matter which pen I use? And this is the last time we'll get to use it.
Are you sure?
James signs the paperwork with the decorative pen.
We'll finish this tonight. How soon till General Andrade gets here?
Once you're finished and stand down signal, it will take him 4 hours to fly to the port.
James reaches for the phone again.
Ms. Gillies, can you send for more coffee, please?
Yes. Anything else?
James looked up at Noah.
Those pyramid pastries.
No.
Just the coffee, Ms. Gillies.
Of course.
The king is going to be here any minute. Are the men ready?
Yes. Once he gets here, give me the signal and we'll begin.
Is Carter joining you?
Who's Carter?
Carter is...
The door opens and Miss Gilly comes in with a cart containing coffee and sandwiches. Miss Roberta Gillies is an older woman in her late 60s. Miss Roberta Gillies gives off a... Niall leans in for a kiss and Evelyn kisses him.
Want to get out of here?
Yeah.
Niall escorts Evelyn out of the club. They hand their headphones into the kiosk.
Are you all coming back?
Not tonight.
Come back again.
Niall and Evelyn stop by coat check and grab their coats. Niall and Evelyn leave the club. Outside of the club, Niall pulls Evelyn closer and they kiss again. The camera pans up to the sky. The sky darkens. The camera pans down and we are in Niall's bedroom and Niall and Evelyn are lying together.
Is that your mom?
Yeah, that was my 9th birthday. That's my mom, dad, brothers, and a few cousins.
They all came out for your birthday?
No, it was a family reunion during my birthday.
I know you remember your birthday, huh?
Yeah. I know what I like. Any family pictures?
Evelyn grabs her phone and shows Niall some pictures.
We moved around a lot. I'm used to living on military bases, and my dad was important, so...
That's why you never washed your car.
Yeah.
Where were you?
Everywhere, but this one place had a desert called Wings of Paradise. It was in the shape of a wing and filled with apricot jam.
Did it look like this?
Yeah. Where did I make that?
Niall is deep scrolling while Evelyn is talking.
I guess. This was when I was younger. I really miss that place. I would like to visit there again. I need to find out my dad.
Evelyn is slightly frustrated that Niall is deep diving into info on Florida.
Naya.
I'm sorry, I was just reading about Florida.
What happened?
It's gone.
What do you mean?
They got invaded and it's acquired totally. You were there when you were a child, right?
Yeah. Why?
What exactly did your dad do?
Never talked about it.
I think this is not.
Niall shows Evelyn a picture of people, and one of the men looks like James.
Maybe. Why?
You need to talk to your dad. Now.
Interior hotel lobby later that day. We are in the lobby of the hotel with a visibly angry and disturbed Evelyn with Niall.
Do you need anything? Do you need to go with me?
No. I need to do this myself.
They hug and kiss and hug again. We follow Evelyn as she walks to the elevator. We see her get on and the door closes. We cut to James and Edward cuddling up on the couch in their suite.
Are you hungry?
Yeah,
Me too. I'm about to make a sandwich. Want one?
yeah. Do we have any roast beef?
I don't know. I'll check.
James gets up and leaves the room to make the sandwich. Edward is alone on the couch. He stretches his entire body and relaxes. Looking around the room, he is content. Edward reaches for a cup of hot chamomile tea while drinking it. Hears James was shouting.
There's no roast beef.
What?
There is no roast beef. Turkey?
Sure.
Edward goes back to sipping his tea. We hear the sounds of Evelyn's keys cards unlocking the door to the suite, and she bursts in full of questions and rage.
Hey, what's wrong?
Everything. Where is he?
Well, where is who? Use names. I'm not a mind reader.
James walks in with a food tray with 2 sandwiches and a cola. James sees the distress in his daughter's eyes, and flashes of anger crosses his eyes, and that anger quickly melts to understanding. She knows that he has done and now knows what he has done, and now he looks tired. James puts his tray down.
Him.
Evelyn points at James.
I knew what you did was important and you couldn't talk about it. Killing people? Destroying cities and countries?
There are things you don't know and don't understand.
What? That my father is a butcher?
Hey, young lady, don't call him that.
Okay. Is it true? Were you the butcher of, in Bosch? Did you kill those people?
Who have you been talking to? And lower your voice. Your siblings are resting.
Don't try and change the subject. Did you butcher those people?
I don't want to talk about
Hey,
it.
Evie, I'll pour you some tea just how you like it.
I want to know if my father is a butcher.
Don't call him that.
Why? Did he not butcher not one country, but 2? 2, Daddy. 2 countries don't exist because of him. What should I call him?
James and Edward look at each other.
Inside this hotel, Dad.
No, right now I'm not even sure who you are. Did you do it?
I did my duty. I taught you and your siblings how important it is if you make a promise, you keep that promise no matter what. I made a promise to our king that I would obey his commands, and I did. Were people hurt? Yes. But people are hurt all the time. Who the hell have you been talking to?
Niall?
Yes, we were talking about our childhood. I told him about Wings of Paradise. When I described it, he said he knew it. He showed me a picture of it, and he asked when I was there. I told him when, and after he deep dived, he found a picture of you. His aunt, her husband, and his cousins lived there.
I did what was necessary.
Dad, do you get how messed up that is? You helped erase 2 countries. You are hiding behind what, words? Dad, you killed people.
I didn't kill people. The king did. I was simply his weapon. I am no more responsible for those people dying than a gun is responsible for the death of a person. It is the person who pulls the trigger who is responsible.
That is no excuse. You could have said no. You could have found a way. Plus, you pulled the trigger. His aunt was raped. He doesn't know where his cousins are. How is that the right thing? How could you do it?
I will not be lectured to by someone who has never served. I will not be talked to this way by my own daughter. Did you like your childhood? Did you like going across the country into new and interesting places? Did you like the servants, the power? All of those were provided by me. I got my hands dirty so you wouldn't have to deal with it. Even now, who pays for you? Who covers the bills for all the stuff you buy? Me. I expect a little gratitude for the more than privileged lifestyle you have.
Yes, I love my childhood. Who wouldn't? But at what price? Babies. Dick, you killed babies.
I did what had to be done. Those people didn't know they lost. They fought me every step of the way. I offered them mercy, and they spit. Spit in my face. And frankly, I'm tired of this conversation.
Why? Because you don't want to be wrong? What you did was wrong. I don't care how you justify it.
How naive you are. There is no such thing as bloodless luxury. Every luxury that exists because somebody else had to suffer. So what do you want to do? Go live in squalor with Nile? Go be poor and proud. If it wasn't me, someone else was going to do it, and yes, I did it. But if it's going to happen, we should benefit and not someone else.
Do you hear yourself? You're okay with murder, greed, enslavement, and child abduction.
How about everyone calm down? Take a breath.
No. Wait, is Hayden from Bosch? Is he one of the kidnapped children?
James snatches a plate. When he snatches the plate, the sandwich falls off and throws it near Evelyn's head, startling her.
What the hell?
I am tired of justifying myself to you, my child. Be grateful for me. You should be on your knees, thanking me for what I have done. And no, Hayden is not from Bosch.
For what? Murder?
Yes. Do you want to know why we are all in this hotel? It's because of you. Your daddy, Hayden, Natalie. All of you, all are why we're here. The war that our king started wasn't going well. Do you know what happens when you lose a war? I'll tell you.
You would be the expert.
James steps forward to enact violence, but Edwards cuts him off.
People die, but not quickly. Men and women, boys and girls get raped not once, not twice, multiple times, and then killed. So me, your big, bad, evil dad, did what I do best. I killed the king and the rest of the council, and then I surrendered so that when the war was over, you would be safe. I care and love you, all of you. I knew what was coming. I protected you. You need me. Without me, who will provide for you and protect you? That little piece of shit bellhop? Nile? I could snap him like a twig, and then where would you be?
I don't know, but at least I wouldn't be used as an excuse to commit war crimes. And you think killing the king is love? And what about your oath to the king? How did you keep that while you killed him?
I didn't like it, but you are my child, and I promise to love and protect you. It is greater than my oath or promises to other people.
Hayden and Natalie toggle him.
What's going on?
Go back to your room.
But we heard screaming and yelling.
What did Daddy say? Go back to your room.
Evelyn walks over to them and hugs them tight and kisses them on their forehead.
What did the dad say?
To go back to our room?
Then that's what you should do.
Hayden and Natalie reluctantly walk out. Evelyn takes a pause and after some deep breaths is ready to talk.
I can't stay here. I need to go.
Where are you going to go?
I honestly don't know, but right now I can't be in the same room as him.
Since you can't be in the same room as me, you also can't be in the same room as my credit card. Leave it here.
Frustrated, Evelyn rummaged through her bag and
He's right.
she finds it and puts it down.
How will you pay for things?
Without our blood money,
I'll figure it out. Bye.
Evelyn leaves and slams the door. Edward picks up her credit card and sees it is her credit card and room key.
fuck! There's nothing you need to say.
Okay.
Edward goes to start cleaning up the plate. When he is done cleaning, he stands up and looks directly at James, who has started smoking.
When she gets older and sees the real world and learns about consequences, she'll mature and she'll understand. She's just been too sheltered.
I hope you're right.
Edward walks past James and touches his shoulder, providing comfort.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break and then be back and finish these last 40 pages. Okay, it's 2:49.
In the courtroom, and both sides are talking to the judge. Grady and Ava are standing up behind their desk, arguing with each other and trying to prove their points with the judges.
Your Honors, this trial is unique, I grant you that, but we have the right to know not only the names of the witnesses, but also the purpose to which they have been called.
Your Honors, the rules do not require us to tell opposing advocate the purpose of calling a witness. If that were the case, then why did Advocate Valley not inform us of the purpose of the witnesses he called? He didn't tell us because it is our job to figure out why he would call those witnesses, and it is his job to figure out why we are calling Hannah Abiodun.
You will issue a written ruling tonight with immediate compliance, so Advocate Shaw, have an explanation ready for Advocate Valley if you rule in his favor. Advocate Shaw, are you ready to call your next witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's proceed.
The government calls Deputy Director William T. Spears.
Williams walks up to the stand, and while the bailiff swears him in, we stay with Ava as she is organizing herself and waits for the bailiff to finish. William is a slender, uptight man. He wears a two-piece suit, but it might as well be a uniform.
Please state your name and job.
My name is William T. Spears. I am the Deputy Director of Federal External Security. I have been the Deputy Director for 6 years, but I have worked for FES for over 20 years.
Wow. You made it to the Deputy Director level relatively quickly.
Yes, I'm very efficient.
At your core, would you say you're an analyst?
Yes.
I want to talk about two things that are related. First, how Tallinn absorbed its neighbors and the agreement between the Federation and Mr. Bernie Bryant.
Okay.
Do the names Mundi, East Mundi, Inur, Zal, Hana, and Flor mean anything to you?
Yes.
What?
These were small countries that were absorbed into Tallinn under King Charles III.
It must be a difficult process of getting people to accept their new rulers.
It is.
How did Tallinn do it? Who was responsible?
Each of these countries are small, resource rich, so Tallinn was able to overwhelm them quickly. In the case of Hana, Tallinn had total control in a matter of weeks.
Your Honors, shouldn't we be focusing on the agreement and not world geography?
You do have a point, Advocate Shaw.
I will get to the point soon, I promise. This is important context, I assure you.
Associate Judge St. Pierre nods.
But once they had control, Tallinn had the exact same playbook every time.
Which was?
Move, spread, divide, erase.
Can you explain?
Sure. The first thing they would do is move. Move people loyal from Tallinn into the new areas. Second, spread the conquered peoples throughout Tallinn proper so they can't fight back. Third, they would divide families, specifically children, the younger the better, and resettle those children throughout the kingdom. And fourth, erase. Erase any and all cultural relics, i.e. making it illegal for conquered people to speak their mother language and talk or teach their history.
And did General Bernie Bryant have anything to do with this?
No.
He didn't?
No, he didn't because he wasn't a general yet. At the time, he was a lieutenant colonel and a colonel.
I apologize. Did Lieutenant Colonel or Colonel Bernie Bryant have anything to do with this?
Yes.
What was his role?
In Hana and Flor particularly, he ran all 4 steps through his office.
So, are you saying after the military operations ended in Hana and Flor, he was responsible for moving people, breaking up families, and erasing cultures?
Yes.
Okay, let's start talking Operation Cinder. What was Operation Cinder?
It was our effort to assist, promise, and lie to Mr. Bernie Bryant in the hopes he would seriously harm Tallinn's high command.
When it became clear to you that Mr. Bernie Bryant was serious about defecting and selling his side out, what did you think?
I thought he was making a smart move. It was clear we were going to win, it was just going to take time. And him doing this would make sure he would come out smelling like roses.
When you were going back and forth with Mr. Bernie Bryant for Mr. DeLonge, did you ever consider honoring the deal you made with him? And why?
No, it was never our plan to give him what he wanted. Look at his history. He has a talent for murder, violence, and deception. I was not going to be responsible for cutting monthly checks to a person who knowingly allowed rape to happen under his watch, or the person responsible for eradicating the Hana. The Hana as a people do not exist anymore. He is one of the vilest people I have ever had the displeasure of working with.
Is there an example you can give the court as to why you had no qualms in not honoring this deal?
Yes, the deal itself. The deal required James to get Tallinn to surrender. How did James decide the best way to achieve this goal? Regicide and murder of the top commanders in the Talent military. Did he have to kill them? No. There is nothing in the agreement that dictates how James was supposed to do his job. To his core, he is a rotten, spoiled pustule of a person.
Those are some strong opinions. Did Mr. DeLange know about the history of Mr. Bernie Bryant?
No, not entirely. Timothy is a nice guy, a bit absent-minded, which is why we felt he would be a good fit. The less he knew about James' past and was able to connect and build a better relationship with James, the better Timothy was at his job.
Just to be clear, you knowingly lied to Timothy in order to bring Mr. Bernie Bryant in your thrall?
Yes. My allegiance is not to Timothy. It is to the Alamet Federation and his interests. And Timothy took the same oath I did, and the best way for him to live up to that oath was for him to be ignorant.
How did you feel about lying to and through Mr. DeLange and the lies you told to Mr. Bernie Bryant?
If you are asking me if I feel bad, no. Mr. DeLong got a promotion, and Mr. Bernie Bryant is finally on the receiving end of all of his bad deeds.
Ava sits down.
Advocate Valley?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay. We will conclude for the day, but we are asking the parties to stay in the courthouse for an hour so we can decide on Advocate Valley's request.
Interior courthouse attorney room. Moments later, Grady, James, and Edward walk into a side room off the courtroom. James slams the door behind Pitts.
How could you just let that shit for brains, pencil-pushing bureaucrat talk without stopping?
And say what? That you didn't do that?
Yes, something. Anything. What the hell, Brady? What am I paying you for?
You want to go there? Okay. How do you have the small fortune to pay me?
James grunts in frustration.
See?
Edward, can we make a new deal?
With who? No one here likes him. He is the very definition of a toxic person.
Knock on the door.
Please go away.
Knock at the door again.
You'll want to talk to me.
Grady opens the door and let Ava in.
Hi, Grady. I need to talk to you and your client alone.
Seriously. Now?
Trust me, you're going to want to hear this.
Hey, Edward, can you go out into the hallway? We'll let you back in in...
Like 10 to 15.
We'll let you back in about 10 to 15 minutes.
Edward leaves but stares Ava down, but she doesn't move.
Okay. What is it?
Wait.
Ava pulls out a device, whispers into it, and puts it back into her pocket. Knock at the opposite door. Ava opens it, and Judge Deckard walks in. Chief Judge Deckard stays in the corner of the room for the entire meeting.
Your Honor, why are you here?
I'm not here.
We are prepared to offer you a deal.
I've been down this road before.
Well, that's why she's not here. And I am so that you know this is a real verifiable truth.
Why?
Because James could be useful to us. There are rumors of a coup d'etat, which of course are true. But these rumors are starting to say we helped it along. We can't have that while we're still in the process of reorganizing Talent. If, when called, if James is willing to debunk these rumors that he is alive, not because he was in charge of a coup, but because he fought to protect and save King Arno, and was only able to save the prince.
The prince is dead.
No, not this one.
Ava shows James a picture of a young child.
He's Arno's illegitimate son. We're going to legitimize his claim to the throne, and his mother has already agreed. You can help sell this. He's Arno's youngest child. We'll install him on the throne. You will vouch for him. We will make sure you get everything you ask for, except for one thing.
There it is. What more do you want from me?
You. Just you. We don't need co-conspirators. We've begun closing in on these men. They will be captured, tried, and sentenced for regicide.
Will he have to testify, or is a sworn statement enough?
Ava looks at Judge Deckard.
In most cases, the statement will work. There might be a need to testify.
How do we know this deal is real?
Ava slides a piece of paper across the table.
What is this?
We are complying the court's order that will be issued once we are done. This is why we are calling Hannah over now.
Grady starts reading, and quietly, quickly.
When does he have to make a decision?
Before the ruling is issued.
And how do we know that you are not making this deal to other people?
Why wouldn't we?
Ava stands up.
I want to be clear. Until we hear from you, we will still pursue this case to the fullest.
Ava opens the door for Judge Deckard and leads after him. Grady goes to the opposite door and waves Avery in.
What did they want?
To discuss Hannah Abiodun.
All that for some woman?
She's not just some woman.
Who is she?
James, you want to tell him?
She was a woman who was assigned in Friendship North, a workers' camp.
And why is one of them so important?
Tell him.
She was assigned to your husband as his comfort woman in the last 2 years of the war.
Edward is shocked and moves from confusion to anger quickly.
I'll let you all discuss this. Be sitting outside when you're ready.
We follow Grady as he leaves the room. As soon as he closes the door, we hear muffled noises of Grady and James arguing.
What the hell, James? We talked about this. How could you?
I know.
Who is she? How could you not know her name?
She must have lied.
She lied for years and you didn't know, or you didn't want to know?
I thought she...
But she what?
Interior courtroom the next day. We see the courtroom, and despite how we left them, Edward is still there sitting behind James.
Ms. Abbott, do you know anyone sitting in the petitioner's table?
Yes.
Who?
And points at James.
What is his name?
James.
Let the record show Ms. Abbott pointed at James Breen Bryant. How do you know Mr. Breen Bryant?
He was my rapist for 2 years.
What do you mean?
The camp I worked at, we were assigned to various people in the military. I was assigned to General Bruni Bryant.
How did you happen to be in this camp?
I was in a small town that Tallinn had captured. I was moved to 3 camps before I was at Friendship.
When you were assigned to a general, what were you told?
I was told that if I wanted to stay away from hard labor and being passed around, I should do whatever he wanted.
What did you do for the general?
I was his personal attendant at the camp.
What did you do for him?
I cooked the meals he ate at the camp. I had his uniform ready for him after his lunch and nap.
What else were you forced to do?
I was his sex slave.
What do you mean?
Sometimes I would walk into his office to bring him coffee, and he would bend me over his desk and force me to press this.
Were there other times?
Yes.
Can you tell the court another time, please?
After a year, I came into his office, and he congratulated me on our anniversary. He gave me a gold necklace, kissed me, asked me if I was happy, and when I said yes, he slipped his hand up my skirt and...
You don't have to finish. Did you want to do any of the things you did while you were with him?
No.
Did you ever tell him your real name?
No.
Why?
Because I wanted to keep something of myself to myself. Something Tallinn and the general couldn't take away from me.
I can understand. After you were assigned to General Bruni Bryant, when, if ever, did you leave Friendship?
I never left the camp.
Ever?
No. I didn't leave the camp till Federation soldiers rescued me.
So around 2 years you lived, worked, and were used at the whim of General Bruni Bryant?
Yes.
No further questions.
Victor stands up. He walks to the side of the desk about 8 feet behind the podium and stays at the side of the desk.
Ms. Abiodun, you said you were told the rules before you worked under the general?
Yes.
Who told you these rules?
The other women.
The other one, so not a soldier.
The other women, but it was clear to me, seeing how the soldiers treated us, what was expected of me.
Do you remember the first time you had sex with the general?
Yes. I showered afterwards.
Did he make you?
No, but I was afraid of what would happen if I said no.
Did you have family at this camp?
Yes.
Did they receive special treatment? Let me rephrase that. Were they treated better relative to other people in the camp?
Yes.
So just to be clear, you were never forced by the general to have sex with him, and while you were there, because of your relationship with him, your family were treated better than others in the camp, right? No further questions?
Practice this now.
Hannah, Advocate Grayson made it seem like it was a pleasant deal, was it?
No.
Davis, hands up.
And I am so sorry to bring this up. Did the general know you were pregnant during those 2 years?
No.
Why not?
One of the old women in my dorm gave me a tea that caused me to have a miscarriage.
Was this on purpose?
Yes.
Why?
I was not going to carry him and me any longer than I had to.
Thank you.
It's almost lunchtime, so let's go take a long lunch. When we come back, Advocate Valley can do his closing, and depending on the time he finishes, we'll either do the government's closing today or on Monday. We stand recessed.
Interior courtroom, later that day. We are back at the courtroom. Everyone is seated.
Bailiff, if you will.
Court will now come to order. Pray silence.
Thank you, Bailiff. Advocate Valley, are you ready to proceed?
Grady gets up and stands behind the podium.
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Your Honors, may it please the court, my name is Grady Vale. I've been an advocate for over 15 years, and in another life I served in the armed services. Like all of you and so many other people in this room and in this country, I have seen war and its costs. General James Bruni Bryant earned his nickname as the Butcher of Embosch. Everything about this man is repugnant to me. The only people equally as vile as him are the people he worked with and the king he served. It seems wherever James goes, death, pain, and suffering follow him. For the better part of the last 17 years, we have been at war. A war that we did not start, and one that I am still understanding as to why it happened in the first place. But once a war starts, it is hard to stop it. War has an inertia all of its own. Whatever was in the heart of King Arno is now lost to time, but it doesn't matter what it was in his heart, because apart from inertia, once war is declared, it becomes personal. And when things become personal, they become complicated and difficult to end. Based on the testimony of General Andrade and Deputy Director William T. Spears, we were going to win the war, but there was no way to do it quickly. Inertia. I can only imagine, prior to General Bruni Bryant, how many times both sides worked to end this war, and it was unsuccessful. What was needed was someone to bear the blood and blame of concluding the war. General Bruni Bryant came to the same conclusion as our generals. I'm willing to bet there were others in Tolland who looked at the map and saw the same thing Generals Andrade and Bruni Bryant saw. They couldn't find a way to stop it either. So, General Bruni Bryant saw a way, a bloody way, to end the war. Some of you may find what he did distasteful. Would you have been happier if we sneaked in a squad of commandos and did the same thing? At the end of the day, it does not matter how someone is killed. Death is death. The how is for us, for the dead do not complain about how they died. Advocate Shaw wants to make hay out of the fact that General Bruni Bryant wanted to arrange with us before he acted. But seriously, who would not want protection? King Arno launched a war and refused to end it. If General Bruni Bryant changed sides, the war would still continue. If he left survivors there, there's a high probability the war would not be over. The only logical choice before him was taking the lives of his fellow countrymen, the men he had worked alongside for years. This man broke his solemn oath to his king to save his country. In one moment, he did the one thing no one in the Alimet Federation or the sovereign kingdoms of Holland could do. He ended the war. He saved lives here and in Tolland, and all he is asking for is what we as a people promised. Both Deputy William T. Spears and General Andrade said that they never planned on honoring their agreement. Why? Because they found him repugnant. But it is that very inability to see the entire field of play that caused this war to drag on. The sad thing is, General Andrade, whether he wants to admit it or be forced to agree with it, the fact is, had General Bruni Bryant did nothing, the war would still be going on now. Our own military was preparing for another 5 years of war. We should not be too high and mighty about ethics. When we bombed Monroe and Lake Say, they had a total population around 20 million people, and when we were done dropping one bomb on each city, their collective population was 615,000. There is no way General Andrade was not briefed about the lethality of these weapons. He was in charge of their development. Now, as I wrap up, let me say one more thing. The one thing that none of us will say out loud. Thank you, General. When the General Secretary reached out to me, I went over the basics of the case, and I was intrigued. Once I did some independent research and learned who and what General Bruni Bryant did, I knew I wanted to represent him. Why? Well, the General asked me, but I lied to him. But now I will correct my lie. I took this case because I have lost 2 siblings to this war, and my youngest brother Ryan was set to begin his mandatory time in the military, which meant a high probability of seeing combat. General Bruni Bryant's actions saved my brother's life. And I know there is not one person here or in Tolland who is angry that the war is over, and they don't have to pray for their loved one's safe returns. And if the cost of my brother's life is giving this man, who I detest, a house, a pension, and security protection, then I'll gladly pay it. So would so many people, especially those without connections to protect their loved ones. Your Honors, the government made a promise. Now make them keep it. If the government won't keep its promises, who is worse, the butcher general or the government that uses the butcher general and then lies about it? Thank you.
Well, you have given us a lot to think about. Seeing the time, we will adjourn till Monday at 9:30 a.m.
Enter courtroom day. Everyone awaiting the government closing argument. We hear the bang of the gavel.
Advocate Shaw, you may proceed. Your Honors, may it please the Court. My name is Ava Shaw, and I am an advocate working on behalf and representing the interests of the government and the people of the Calumet Federation. Before I was assigned to this office 10 years ago, I worked as a prosecutor in the Ming District for 15 years. I witnessed the best, weirdest, and worst of humanity. I prosecuted all kinds of people. One man broke into a pool shop and posted a sign in the shop's window. Secretary need, $19 an hour. Call 3274-4688-8627. Were his actions illegal? Yes. But more than anything, they were annoying. And on the other end of the spectrum was Michelle Knocknickle. They stalked, sodomized, murdered, and ate 9 people. They offered no remorse. They explained their actions as simply using the cap available to them. They never asked for mercy or repented, even on the eve of their execution. I thought I would never encounter a psychopath like that again, and I was wrong. James Bruni Bryant was a general of kingdoms of Colorado. We've heard testimony from his right-hand man and acolyte, Noah Zajan, and Federation Inspector Timothy DeLonge. What is most interesting about their testimony is they both talked about how the general couldn't
convince them his plan to murder Talon High Command was the only moral choice. The general sold them on this idea because the war was over. The King Arna couldn't or wouldn't see the truth in front of his eyes. But this moral clarity the general experienced was selective. Based on the questions his advocate asked and how he framed it, our bombing of Talon cities was morally wrong, but his moral eye was absent when he was in power. The morality that so compelled him to end the war by breaking his oath to his king did not exist when under his king's orders he wiped out Hana and Flor, or his continued rape of Liz Abiona. None of the peoples of Mundi, East Mundi, Inur, Zal, Hana, or Flor got a deal from General Bernie Bryant. And here he is asking this government to make a spy agency, and let's be honest, professional liars, who have an interest in seeing their enemy lose, not to lie to him. He is too sophisticated of an actor to know that spies lie, and he pleads ignorance, as if we would not want justice for our people. As I close, I want to leave you with this. We have criminal laws and lock people in jail for 4 distinctive reasons: deterrence, retribution, rehabilitation, and incapacitation. If you force the government to honor its deal with him, it will not allow this government to pursue those 4 goals. Neither the general nor would-be generals will be deterred from future bad acts. This general and others like him will never suffer the just retribution for their actions against Holland and citizens. It will not allow us to physically contain the contagion of his evil. And if compliance is forced on the government, whatever rehabilitation is possible will never happen. He made the right choice at the end, but like so many things in the past, he made sure to get something out of it for himself.
Ava Shaw sits down and exhausted.
Thank you, Advocate Shaw. With all of the evidence, testimony, and summations completed, we will adjourn. Tomorrow, we will issue a ruling from the bench with a written opinion in order to issue shortly afterwards. We stand adjourned.
E Courthouse the next day. Everyone is in the courthouse awaiting the verdict from the panel.
All rise. Honorable Chief Judge Alina Deckard and Associate Judges. This court is now in session.
For over 15 years, this country, our federation, was at war. It was not a war we wanted, not a war we started, but a war we were going to win. War does one thing better than any other social event. War reveals. War reveals because it hands out power to people and says fight, kill, and win. And this court is not equipped to determine if angels should be in war, but we can say war attracts devils. Devils like former General James Bruni Bryant. We call the former general a devil because what other word fits his actions? He is a devil because during his professional career he gained money, power, and status by either sanctioning, passively allowing, or actively engaging in rape, murder, genocide, forcefully transferring children out of the care of their parents to erase their lineage, and sterilizing whole groups of people. Why? Because he could. He comes here to us in our sacred temple of law and order, right and wrong, asking, no, demanding his pleas of fairness be heard, and begs the promises this government made to him in our honor. The pleas he made to us, we believe and know, are no different than the countless souls that have asked for mercy from him that he denied, because his argument in a sentence is, I did a service and deserve the agreed compensation. However, our government makes an equal, if not more compelling argument. General James Bruni Bryant did do a good deed in helping end the war. but the war was already lost for the kingdom's battalion. Should General James Bruni Bryant be rewarded for ending a war he helped to prosecute to the fullest extent in his position? The government responds in the negative. And so here we are asked to decide this man's fate. So we are back to this question: is this man a devil, and what is the devil's due? We find Mr. Bruni Bryant to be a moral vacuum void of any redeeming qualities, save his obvious self-interest. And as we try to balance the screams of justice from the blood of his victims, we cannot and will not turn a blind eye to the children that have been born who will not grow up only to fight a war. After careful consideration, we are hereby ordering the government to honor its agreement with General James Bruni Bryant in regards to him and him alone. We will not have our government be known to be a dishonest broker. We will keep our promises even when it is to someone like you, General. Go and enjoy your prize. It is hereby ordered. A written order is being prepared by our clerk, and a long written opinion will be available in 14 days. There is nothing else. Court is dismissed.
The 5 judges stand up. Everyone rise. Everyone stands up. The judges leave, and everyone relaxes. Abel walks over to Grady, Vale, and whispers.
Made some good arguments, but we expect him to keep up his end of the deal.
He will.
They shake hands. Abel looks pissed and walks away.
Grady, thank you for everything.
You're welcome, but I didn't do it for you. How are you going to deal with your man Noah?
I'll figure it out.
James walks past the divider that separates the gallery and the lawyers and sees Noah, who is happy and a bit confused. Also, Edward and Roberta are waiting for him. Edward makes a beeline to James. They hug and kiss.
See, it all worked out. Roberta, can you get the children?
Roberta hugs James and leaves to get the children.
Thank you, Roberta.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Grady walks past James and walks past James and his husband celebrating, but is stopped by Noah.
Hey, what did the judge mean by him alone? What does that mean for the rest of us, for me?
James and Edward walk out of the courtroom and in the hallway.
The court is forcing the government to honor the deal they made with him. So everything the government promised, he is getting, except...
Except what?
The deal only applies to him, not to you. So what he negotiated for you and your man is void, and the government is not obligated to do anything for you.
Well, you gotta get them back. Tell them we're a package deal. We did it together. He promised us that he would take care of us.
Mr. Zajic, this is what the court is ordering. I cannot change what the court has decided. You may want to talk to Mr. Bruni Bryant and see what, if any, plan he has for you.
But you're the advocate.
Yes, but I am not your advocate. And there is only so much I can tell you.
Noah is dumbfounded and leaves the courtroom searching for the general, and Grady is ready to go to the bar, drink, and think about what he has done. We follow Noah from his perspective. We see him look down the hallway both ways until he sees James, and he starts power walking the hallway to catch up to James. When Noah catches up to James, James is outside of the courtroom on the steps of the courtroom. Noah grabs James' shoulders violently.
Noah, what are you doing?
I just talked with Grady, and he said that the boys and I are not getting the protection deal we agreed on. Do you know about this?
No, I didn't know how they would rule.
From across the street, Evelyn and Niall walk to the steps of the courthouse. Niall rubs Evelyn's back, and she starts to walk up the stairs towards her siblings. Hayden and Natalie see her and start to make their way towards her. James and Edward see Evelyn, but don't change their position to move towards her.
Do you have a plan? We need to do something.
We will. Let's just enjoy this moment. We won.
But that's it. We didn't win. Why are you so calm? How long did you know about this?
I didn't. About 4 days.
Why didn't you stop it?
James leans in close to Noah.
I had no choice. I saved who I could when I could. I went back and forth with them for over 2 hours. This was the best I could do. I didn't forget you. I keep my word.
I heard you say something similar, and here I am forgotten in a foreign land with poverty on the horizon if I stay here, or a death sentence from our government. Our comrades, when they learn I lied to them.
In the background, Evelyn hugs Natalie and is moving to hug Hayden. She acknowledged Edward.
You didn't lie to them. You didn't know. I didn't know. We didn't know. But we will adapt and live. You'll live.
That's not good enough.
It will have to be. Let's go. Noah, I'm sorry it didn't work out. I'll try and find a way to save you and our men, but I have an opportunity to save my family, and I took it.
How dare you? Where will I go? What will I do?
Come back tonight. Cook a bolognese, and we will talk it over.
Noah is processing this polite but, from his perspective, disconnected comment. Noah sees his bodyguards talking to the bailiff from the court. Noah's bodyguards walks over to Noah. Noah pushes his bodyguards while taking the guard's personal sidearm. Noah's bodyguards pushes him down the stairs into Niall. He points the gun at James. Evelyn sees this, holds Hayden closer to her.
Natalie, come here.
Natalie goes to Edward and stays with her daddy.
Don't do something you'll regret.
Like you? Are you even sorry?
Yes, of course I am.
Bullshit! You're just scared.
Noah, you know me. I don't get scared. Come on, put it down and let's go.
Interior villa, flashbacks. We hear a mix of two voices, both of them James saying the line, "Let's go." One is from the courts, that's with James talking to Noah, and the other is back in the villa with James and Noah before they start the coup d'etat. The scene is bathed in red, bathed in color, looking like a technicolor.
Let's go.
We follow James and Noah as they leave Miss Gillies' office and are in the hallway walking.
Where are the men at?
This way, sir.
You've explained what happens if we fail.
No, they already know. This room.
They stop walking and walk into a room filled with 27 operators.
Silence.
No, it tells me that you all know why we are gathered tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you personally to do something that is anathema to who we are as soldiers of the Royal Army. I am asking you to betray your oaths to our king, but I am also asking you to save our fellow countrymen and women. For over 15 years, we have been fighting a war against the Federation, and it is true. At first we were winning, but our gains slowed to a stop. And for the last 5 years, we have slowly been losing territory. And since the outbreak of this war, over 40 million Royal Armed Forces and Tone civilians have died. I've tried to explain to His Majesty that all we can do now is surrender. His Majesty decided this pointless war will continue at least for 3 years. He's praying for a miracle as our people die. No more. No more pointless death. This war has taken loved ones from me, and each of you know the personal cost of this war. If there is anyone here who doesn't want to participate, you can say something now. You have my word. No harm will come to you as long as you stay here.
All of the operators look at each other and murmur.
Sir, I speak on behalf of all the men. We know what you are asking of us, and we're ready. You can count on us.
Thank you. Last, I have confirmation of the deal with the Federation. I signed off on the paperwork before I came here. Noah, next steps.
Okay, purple team, Richard, Matthew, Billy, and Kyle, you're going to go secure the grounds and the entrance. Blue team, Brian, Pigsy, Gore, Sandy, Elizabeth, and Trevor, you'll secure the first and second floor. Red team, Bold, Nelson, and Xavier, lock the garage and secure the communications depot. Yellow team, Devin, Joseph, Tara, Philip, you'll accompany purple team. If purple, blue, or red needs help, call on yellow team and there'll be your reinforcements. They will stick with team black until called for. Team black is everyone else. You will join the general and I in the hall. Any questions about assignments? Purple, blue, and red, you have your assignments. When you complete your tasks, notify me and the other teams.
Team purple, blue, and red leave the room. Only teams yellow and black and Noah and James remain.
While they get started, I want to be very clear. You all have been selected for these two teams because of your extreme moral flexibility and stellar record of completing missions. Once the council understands what is happening, they may ask you to spare their lives. That is not an option. When you all come in, staff first, and then the council. Staff and council may try to remind you of their spouses, parents, grandparents, children, and grandchildren. That does not matter. There is one person you all are not to kill, the king. Am I clear?
Looking at Noah, James starts to speak again.
Noah, how long do you think it will take the purple, blue, and red teams to complete their mission?
No more than 10 minutes.
Good. Where's the weapons bag?
Over here.
The camera follows behind Noah and James as they look inside the bag. The camera holds looking down into the bag as Noah reaches in to give James a weapon, and then the camera falls into the bag, which is a fade to black. Fade from black, and we see the double doors into the meeting hall where the king is meeting with his council. James gives his men the signal to wait. James opens the door, but doesn't close it.
General, we've been waiting on you. Where have you been?
I was reading on dialectics, the thesis, the counter-thesis, synthesis between the two, creating a new thesis, and how this process continues over and over, moving us to higher levels of understanding.
And this made you late for your lord and master?
Yes,
Why?
because I wanted to make sure there is synthesis for our people. I am your counter-thesis, my lord. Now.
Noah and the team black and half of yellow enter the chambers and close the door. They begin shooting all of the assistants and the staff in the room. James raises his hand in a fist before the last three assistants are killed.
You! What do you do?
I'm General Lawrence's assistant. I maintain his papers and records.
You! How long have you worked in the army?
Um,
When did you join the army?
3 years ago?
You two can go. I'll radio ahead. Get out.
The two men open the door and run out. James acts as if he is about to talk and notice one more person in the room and just stares at him till he starts babbling.
Please, I just record everything. I'm a clerk. I take notes. I don't decide anything. Please, look, it's my family and my new daughter, Chalamar. Please let me go. I won't say anything. Fuck the king!
James gives him a nod to go. Clark gets up and runs out, and right before he hits the threshold of the room, James shoots him in the back of the head.
All teams, there are 2 young assistants on their way. Don't let them leave.
Have you lost your mind?
James puts his hands up.
How dare you?
James shoots near the king's head to shut him up. And you hear shots. James turns his attention to the king and the council.
No, but you have. We have sat in rooms like this for over 5 years and watched you slowly allow our people to die in a pointless war just so you could try to be a bigger king than your father. No more. I'm putting an end to this.
Have you forgotten about Monroe and Lakesay? We lost so many of my subjects.
But in the last 4 years, we have lost more people than in either of those places.
If any of you kill him, add a star to your shoulders. I am your king, and you will obey my commands.
Each member of Team Black stands behind a different member of the council. General Hill stands up to speak.
He's right. For years, this war has been a drain on our resources. My own son died because of this war. Let me join you. I'll do whatever you want.
You want to break your oath and now join us?
Yes.
Why? Why now?
I thought I was alone, but seeing I'm not, I'm ready to join up.
You, both of you, oath breakers, you will pay in this life or the next.
James exasperately speaks to Noah.
I don't. Noah, any thoughts? Let's see.
James hands a gun to General Hill.
General, kill him.
General Hill points the gun at General Hook, and quick as lightning, tries to shoot James. The gun doesn't fire.
That's sad.
An operator behind General Hill kicks his feet out from under, causing General Hill to fall on his knees.
General, it has been a minute since you've held a loaded gun in your hands, hasn't it?
General Hill spits in James' face.
You'll get what's coming to you, you
blackguard.
You said you would do what I asked. I want you to pave the way for your brothers.
James shoots him in the head. He raises his hand, moves it in a circular motion, and the team starts firing. Some of the council members try to fight back, but in an instant, only James, his co-conspirators, and the kings are left. The king is left.
Sir, we have the royal family cornered. What should we do?
Keep an open channel. I want everyone to hear what happens.
Yes, sir.
My king,
I'm not your king, Kingslayer.
you are until you join your father.
You are a small, insignificant man, scurrying around thinking you are making a difference. What are you going to do? Take my throne, wear my crown. Every day it sits on your head, you will be haunted by the fact you didn't earn it. You killed for it. The people will not love you. They love me. I come from a long line of kings. My family built this realm. What did your family build? What books are written about the Bruni? None. Why? Because you and your family were nothing more than farmers. Pig farmers.
James takes off Arnold's crown.
Do you hear that, Your Majesty? Do you see how unimportant you are to your husband?
Don't you touch my family! Julia, Henry, it is going to be okay. He needs us. He needs me, and I won't do anything if he hurts you.
You think you are still in control, don't you? Wow. Brian, at your leave.
Yes, sir. Pigsy, Elizabeth.
Mother, can you? Yes, I can.
Fire.
Daddy, help.
Prince Henry is cut off from speaking from the gunfiring.
We're finished, sir.
Thank you. Arno, I don't want to reign or rule. I just don't want you in charge. Noah,
Yes.
get on one knee.
Noah gets on one knee and James puts the crown on his head.
How could you?
Easily. I told Brian, and Brian executed my orders.
As King Arnold is speaking, James is reloading his gun. Noah has an operator get on his knees and crown him, and this continues in the background.
You putrid miscreant. You'll pay for this. All of you who put your trust in him, you'll pay too. All are fools trusting him. He will lie to you, and then where will you be?
James shoots King Arnold.
Exterior courthouse continuous. We are back to the steps of the courtroom. We hear the sound of the gunshot that killed King Arno. We simultaneously hear the same shot, but it's Noah's first shot, when he shoots and kills Edward, and then the second shot when he shoots and kills Natalie. And while Noah is trying to shoot either Hayden or Evelyn, the bailiffs and the guards make it back and try to wrestle the gun from Noah. Noah, with the last bit of strength, shoots himself in the head. James is shocked. James grabs his husband and daughter and begins to mourn them loudly. Hayden starts crying, as does Evelyn. She grabs Hayden and runs with him towards night. Hayden tries to speak, but Evelyn moves so fast he cannot speak. James sees Evelyn running with Hayden, but is so overcome with grief at the loss of Edward and Natalie, he can't bring himself to say anything or even move to stop or protest Evelyn. James, after seeing where Evelyn is running, clutches even harder to Edward's corpse. Bystanders crowd around James, making it difficult for him to see where Evelyn is going. We dolly in on James' face. Exterior, Fruit Grove, years later. We see James' face dollied in and aged. We dolly out to see a large estate full of fruit trees and soldiers who are dressed in Federation clothing. As the camera starts to move around the estate, it focuses on the back of James' chair. Next to his chair is a small table. On the table is a pitcher with lemonade and a glass with ice and lemonade. Next to the beverages is the same friendly picture from his office in Tolan. James is old, tired, and alone. We pull back showing James got everything he fought for, but he's a sad, lonely man. Fade to black.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us for this, for reading the parts. It was excellent. Arthur, any final words before I dismiss everybody?
Kyle's going to email you all with the survey. Please any feedback you have. We are recording it, so if you want to like rewatch it to like really give a really good note, you're more than welcome to do that. And just thank you so much for taking your Saturday because you know spring is allegedly here. And allegedly it's supposed to be warm, but I'm just so grateful that you all did this for me. I really, really appreciate it, and I cannot thank you all enough.